Today I'm going to show the ins and outs of Noredink. But before we get to any of that, let me start with what in the fish is Noredink? Noredink is a website or app with a main. Now there are some reasons why websites such as Noredink is quite useful. Reason number 1, it is interactive and fun to use. Reason number 2, if there's a wrong answer, the student will be given not only another chance to fix it, but also Noredink will give some description about the material. Number 3, it is widely accessible by a wide range of grades from kindergarten up to college student. Number 4, it can be used on a variety of devices such as laptops, phones, computer, and can do it simultaneously. Now that we know what the app does and its advantages, let's get to the main event itself. We are going to look it through 3 phases. The first one, it is in user experience. Now, the first one in user experience is the content presented in a clear way. If we look to the first page or the front page of Noredink, we can see that both you are as a teacher or as a student can log in or sign up in the same manner with login with Google, password, and Clever. And then if we sign up as a teacher, Mr. Priyanso in this case, we can see that there are 4 main objectives that are available to you. First is dashboard, my assignments, student data, and browse and assign. Each comes with different function. The first one is the dashboard. The dashboard gives you, well, the general function of the page. First is the assignments that you have made, in this case quizzes and match the elements. Then if we look through my assignment again, we can see a more clearer and more complete analysis of your assignments. Like in this case, there are diagnostics, practice, quizzes, and writing. In my class, I have made a couple of assignments that have to be done by students. First is practice and quizzes. Then if we look through the next page, you can see student data. Here we can see our students and the grades that they have achieved through their assignments. In this case, we have Clarita and Cecil. Both have interesting grades. And of course, there are 3 menus in there: grades, mastery, and writing portfolios. Those are dependent on the assignments that you are given to your students. And if you are seeing it through the student's point of view, first you go to Noredink webpage and then you log in or sign up in the same manner as the teachers do through Google accounts, for example. Then at your homepage as a student, you are presented with this. First, they get your name and then the topic or the assignments that you have done, the grades of the latest assignments, and then of course another assignments that the students have done. If we look at the past work menu, then you can see that there are 2 assignments that the teacher have tasked to the student. First is a quick writing and then practice, both with their grades. And then if we look beside them, there are writing portfolios, which is the writing assignments that the teacher have given. And then if we look at past work, if we look to, and then to the right, if we look at learning, we can see a mastery and then the
explanation of mastery itself, and then you can choose your grade level from K2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, 9 to 12, etc. Well, on to the next item on the menu. Is the EdTech tools aesthetically pleasing? Well, through my surveys, it is quite pleasing to see. It is white majority with white colors. It is quite easy to use, as mentioned earlier. It is quite easy to understand. Here are the examples of the pages through different assignments, whether you are teacher or student. Then on to the next. Does the EdTech tools offer easy navigation? The answer is yes. Well, first, you can log in through different ways which help a student or a teacher a lot. Then if we look through a teacher's point of view, we have many options that can help you with your class, with my assignment features, and then browse and assign. Browse and assign is focusing on different assignments that you want to give to your students, such as writing, practice, assessments, modules, or even standard tests. Then we can go on to the second phase, which is language learning, especially language practice. First, what language skills can learners practice? Now, in Noredink, there are many features, well, primarily focusing on writing that teachers can use to teach the class. First, if we look at the practice menu, you can see there are many categories to browse, to pick for the topic, like parts of essay, clarity and style, parts of speech, passages, and then sentence, phrases, and clauses. If we take a look at a more detailed view of the topics, we can see that there are many options for active and passive voice, and then body of paragraphs, embedding evidence. Then we could see of another appositive phrases, and then if we take examples of sentences, phrases, and clauses, we could see that there are many options as well, such as parallel structures, identifying sentences and fragments. Now these topics, bear in mind, are pre-made for the teachers, but but in Noredink there are dedicated for different grades. Then on to the next one. How much control do learners have over the pace of learning? In my review, it is not that much, because most of the learning pace is dictated by the teachers. Well, in this case, the learning is a variety of writing and practice, but students do have an option for learning themselves through a mastery program, which is here in different grades that the student can choose for themselves. Now, into the next part. How helpful is the product for teaching large classes? Well, in my reviews, it is quite helpful, because here, as you can see, the student data is quite clearly presented with their grades, mastery, and in writing portfolios. As you can see, there are a list of the grades you have given and the tasks that they have completed, and then you can adjust your assignments as well based on diagnostics, practice quizzes, or writing. And then each of those assignments that you have given, for example, in here there are past and upcoming assignment, you can edit, analyze the data, and share it as well. Now, continuing phase 2 with tracking learning. First, can users set their own learning goals? For teachers, the answer is yes. As explained before, teachers are given the options of practice, writing, assessments, and collections of modules and standard tests. Now we have seen the example of practices earlier, and then now we can take a look at assessment. Here is the example. You can see that in assessment there are plain diagnostic, unit diagnostic, quiz, and passage quiz. So teachers can determine their own learning pace. They can set their individual goals with their students or for different classes, or even with different students for those who are, let's say, behind learning. On to the next. Are there self-assessment opportunities? For students, the answer is yes. For example, if we look at this picture, it shows that it is practice once for the students, and they are given the task of whether it is the word is wrong. As you can see, the sentence is the toddler screamed when Dr. Doofenshmirtz acted out the scariest scene of the book. Now, for example, the students think that the answer is correct. Then, if they submit the answer, they were given this picture. Now, in this picture, the students are given a chance and an explanation as to why the answer is incorrect. So they are given a full explanations for the correct answers. There you can see the examples of the correct answer and why the answer is correct. So then on to the next questions. Can teachers observe learners' strengths and weaknesses? The answer is yes. If you look at this picture, then you can see that the students score grades throughout the assignments that the teacher has given, the date as well, and then you can see the progress or the regress of students' advancement, and then you can see also in this picture the task that you have given and the results of all of the students. Of course, you can categorize the assignments as well, as the teacher focuses on one of the assignments, such as practices, quizzes, or writing. Now, on to the next questions. What other skills can learner develop? Now, we have seen that learners can put use of their skills through quizzes, but also they can use their skill for writing. As you can see in this picture, they are given a task to make a small prompt of their choice that will reignite their imaginations. Here is an example of students that have completed their assignments making a small prompt. Now on to the next skills, interaction, still within the phase 2. First, what opportunities are there for communication between learners? The answer is none. It is one of the weaknesses of this web page is there are no communications available between learners, but there are communications available between learners and teachers. Then on to the next questions. What collaborative opportunities are there? The answer is quite few because Noredink is primarily focuses on writing and general teaching of English. So there are almost none opportunities for teachers if the students want to practice their speaking. So it's primarily rather focused on writing, reading in Nored. Then on to the third phase is technical information. The first one, what devices or internet connections are needed for Noredink? The answer to that question is, well, as explained before, you can students and teachers can use laptops, mobile devices for using Noredink. It is available through web or through an app if you are on mobile device, and it is required a relatively stable internet connection. Now on to the next question. How does the attack tool use your data? The answer is quite a bit. Well, in relatively speaking, it uses around 1 megabyte per 10 or 15 minutes. But if you have a stable internet connection, it will not impact you. It will not impact your learning as much as using data. Now on to the next question. Is there any user support that the app or the web provides? The answer is yes. If we look at this picture, there is Noredink Help Center. There you have a couple of options with quick start guide. I am an admin, I am the teacher, I am the student, I am a parent, and then all of these options is there to help you, whether you are a teacher or student, to help you better improve your accessibility with Noredink. And to round things off, all of this valuable data doesn't come easily. I like to shout out to these wonderful humans for helping gathering a trustworthy data. And yeah, with that, I hope you guys find the video interesting and use Noredink. Grazie ragazzi.